Welcome back to a re-uploaded video. This is a re-upload of a video I released about a week or two ago, walking you through how to install Wiki.js on Proxmox. I took a few minutes to actually go back and rewatch that video, and I saw where I made some very clear mistakes, mostly when it came to the Docker compose file. So we're gonna go ahead and get those mistakes fixed and re-upload this video. Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome back. We're talking about Proxmox again in this episode. Are you excited? Can you feel the excitement on my face? I am. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's talk about Proxmox. Or in this case, let's talk about running our own wiki on Proxmox. As you can see, I have quite the bit of services running in my cluster. And no doubt, if you're watching this video, so do you. Or maybe you don't, in which case, watch this video and start documenting before you have a sprawling mess. Try to do some proactive work. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about self-hosting your own wiki using Wiki.js. I've already spun this up for myself, so this video is more about me teaching you how to do it on your end, right? But I feel sometimes it's best to show by example. And this is a perfect example of a perfectly good wiki software that I use. So let's get started here. So this is Wiki.js. It is an open source Wikipedia / knowledge base, and it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to spin up. It's very easy to use. The UI is pretty slick, and it gives you some customization options. Also, it is one of my favorite things. Open source and free. We'll go ahead and we'll dive in to getting this running. So first things first, you're going to have to spin up a Linux virtual machine or container. In our case, we're going to use a container, and I already have a Debian based template ready to go. So all we have to do is clone that one out, give it a name. We'll call this example wiki. We'll make this a full clone, and then we'll clone that out and give that a minute to wrap up. And we are back. So the next step is to get that container turned on. So turn it on. We now have that container powered on and logged in. So the easiest way to install Wiki.js is actually with Docker. Let's go to the Wiki.js homepage and let's do docs 2.0, and then let's go to installation, and then let's choose Docker. And if you scroll down here, eventually you'll see a Docker compose file. So the easiest way to get Wiki.js up and running is actually as a Docker service. So we're going to start with that. First thing you want to do is make sure you have Docker installed. So if you go to docker.com/engine/install/Debian, you'll see this page, and it walks you through installing Docker. You can just copy this command, go back to your Proxmox instance, and hit paste, and there we go. Now, the next step is to actually get Docker installed. The easiest way is to copy this script right here, click copy, and then go back over to your container once again. Then let's do a nano docker install.sh, and then we can just paste the contents of this script and save. Then of course you make the script executable with a change mod user +x docker install.sh. Then you can simply run docker install.sh, and it will automatically install Docker for you. But you're not quite done yet. You also have to install Docker compose. You can do that with an apt-get install-y docker compose. You let that run. Okay, cool. And now Docker is done being installed, as well as Docker engine. After that, we're going to have to create our Docker compose file. So this is the portion of the video that required me to re-edit it. In the original video, like you're about to see in a few seconds, I grabbed the wrong Docker compose file. To get our Docker compose file, all we have to do is go to Google right here and then search for Wiki.js Docker install. After that, we'll click the first link that says installing using Docker. So what you want to do is this. You want to do Wiki.js Docker compose. And then what you want to do is click the first link. And if you scroll down to the very end of this page, notice that it's the official Wiki.js documentation page. And then you want to copy this Docker compose file right here. So what we have to do is right click copy, go back to our container, do a quick ls, remove the old Docker compose file, make a new Docker compose file, paste our information inside of it, and then notice this time that we don't have to put in our user. All right, we can just paste this. And this Docker Compose, notice that we don't have a user line underneath the wiki portion like we did in the previous one. So that's it. That is how you actually get this thing running. Then all we have to do is let Docker spin up the service. So we do Docker Compose up. Okay. So now Docker Compose is done running. And while it was running, I went ahead and got the IP address, which is 2118. So now if we go to 192.168.2.118, so you can see we have a brand new instance and it wants us to create our admin password. So we'll call this admin@lowspeclabs.org. Give it our password. And of course, you want to give it whatever you want to give it. So let's see, .org for our example. And then we hit install. All right, and just give this a few seconds for it to finalize to install and finish building what it needs to build. All right, and it is done. What that means is that we can now log in. So again, we type in our admin account, then we log in. All right, and the very first thing it's going to ask you to do is create your home page. So just go ahead and do that. And we'll just create a home page from a template. Nah, we don't have any templates. So we'll just create a home page using Markdown. We'll call this home page. The path for this is home, and just hit OK. And that's it. You now have your own wiki. And the cool thing about this is you can do stuff like this, home, test content, then hit create and let it create the page for you. And there you go. You now have your own home page of your own wiki. And then the cool thing is you can then go back and create another new page or change out the file structure, right? And this integrates with Active Directory. It has automation. It lets you run scripts inside of it. It's actually a very feature-rich and useful wiki software. I use it mostly just to keep some basic notes. But I thought this would be a fun video and a cool project to share with you guys.